Call this regular city council meeting to order. It's Monday, June 3rd. I want to welcome everyone. If you'd please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Deb.
Jessica. Here. Don.
Here.
Kathy. Here. Harley.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Rodney.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve today's agenda. So moved. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Kathy. Yes. Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. Today I'd like to thank our videographer, Shay Tilgis. And first I just want to, we had a good discussion here at the work session, but for those of you watching, just want to acknowledge Algona's storm event that did occur in May that resulted in not only tree damage, but a lot of serious water damage to property. And we take these events seriously, and there is an item on the agenda today, number 13, to further discuss that issue. I do want to take this time to thank the street department, all who helped with the tree limb cleanup that was around town, and certainly to the water plant staff who worked tirelessly for several days to manage bypass efforts at the wastewater treatment plant and the various locations around the community. They used 6 different pumps to help relieve that pressure. On Memorial Day, I did receive a phone call from an 87-year-old lady that I've known for 40 years, asking for help with soaked furniture in her basement. So I did ask Rodney Davis to help me, he and his wife, and Jessica Gronow. I called her. I knew she had a couple of strong sons. So she and her family came and helped remove those damaged items from the basement, and Shirley was able to take them then on Tuesday for disposal. So with that, does the council have anything that they would like to share? Okay, hearing none, we will move to update from the city administrator.
On your note with the sewer cleanup, certainly want to thank Algona Community Schools for working with us and scheduling that cleanup day that we had on that Tuesday. I think we ended up with just shy of 4 30-yard dumpsters load worth of water damaged furniture and carpet and other various items. I think there was about 90 truckloads that came in from across town. So I want to thank the school for working with us to get that set up as a drop-off for residents impacted by the storms. Also wanted to share the information that's out there with this storm event from the 20th and 21st being declared a state and federal disaster. There is they are income restricted to 200% of the national poverty guidelines, and this information is on our city website as well as the county emergency management. But there are individual assistant grant programs available through the state. Application deadline is July 5th, 2024. That's up to $5,000 in assistance to help with either temporary housing, food assistance, personal property, or home repair. Those applications need to be submitted to the local community action agency, which is the North Iowa Community Action Organization. Some information on their location, phone numbers, things like that, etc. on our city website, this press release, and Cassuth County Emergency Management. And then as well, I wanted to remind folks of the Party in the Park event coming up here on Wednesday, June 5th. During that time, we're going to take advantage of having a lot of people there in Nebraska Street to get public input on the design process that we have for the Nebraska Street Cultural Corridor plan that's being worked on. So that will be kind of a comprehensive development plan from in front of the Carnegie, west of Hall Street, and then with the Thornton Street, Nebraska Street parking lot plan for reconstruction next year. So on this Wednesday, June 5th, from 5:30 to 7:30 that event, but we'll have a design team from Bolton Mink set up at that site with some of the updated design boards and concepts that have been put together from the public input meetings we have had to get additional feedback from the public. So it's a great opportunity to kind of see those renderings and ideas actually on site to help kind of picture how they might look in real life. And then just wanted to remind folks that City Hall, we're trying something a little new this summer, but with a summer schedule of 7:30 to 4:30. So that's now in effect, and that will through Memorial Day through Labor Day. So City Hall, our public hours during that time will be from 7:30 to 4:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 7, this is the citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on the agenda today. Seeing no one who would like to speak right now, we'll move into the consent agenda, and that includes approving the minutes from our May 20th council meeting, approve the bills to be paid this cycle, and approve the numerous cigarette permit applications that we received. Move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Harley, second from Brad. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 9 is a public hearing, and it is 5:27. I would open that public hearing, and this is in regards to the Algona Municipal Airport runway displacement and extension project.
We have Joe Rosenfeld, who's building our airport engineer here to describe the project.
So what you have before you for the public hearing is a paving and lighting project with some electrical associated with it. This is the final phase of a displacement of the runway on the northerly end and an extension on the south end to regain back night approaches back into the airport that were lost many years ago, and to ensure that you have a runway length of minimum in one direction of 4,000 feet, which is a general utility runway length for general aviation airports. This is like I said, this is the final phase. We've been at this many years, where we started with planning, land acquisition, grading project, and then now the final paving and lighting project.
We've received no oral or written concerns about this project.
Okay. Council have any questions they would like to ask? Okay, have anything else you'd like to share right now? Okay. It is 5:29 then, we will close the public hearing. And we will move to agenda item number 10. This is a resolution that also pertains to the airport runway extension project.
Joe can talk about this resolution.
Okay.
So it approves the plans basically for what we just started the public hearing.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right, so we talked, so I'll go, you've got actually a few items here that kind of come in a row here. So I will actually just explain now that we're through the public hearing, explain the next couple items so you can just move forward. So like we said, we're here for that project. We did put the project out for bid. We did receive 2 bids back, with the lowest bidder being Voltmer Inc. of Decorah, Iowa. The engineer's estimate for the project was $2,189,000, and the lowest bid you did receive was in the amount of $1,759,634.50. And so, as you know from past FAA projects, all costs associated with the project are 90% eligible through FAA. So, as one of your next agenda items, you also have a grant application accompanying this for 90% funding for the project.
Entertain a motion then to approve this resolution.
Second.
We have a motion from Don, second from Jessica. Any questions? Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And agenda item number 11, this resolution accepting the bid for the airport runway that Joe spoke of.
This resolution will accept the bid from Voltner contingent upon the FAA grant funding. It also approves the grant that we are applying to the FAA for 90% of the cost. We have an FAA award recommendation letter. We have a Walton Lake award recommendation letter to go to Walton Lake.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Don, second from Kathy. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Agenda item number 12, this is a request by the Cassuth County Tales of Hope.
Me?
Leah, please tell us your name.
So my name is Aubrey Cook, and I'm the director at Tales of Hope Rescue, and we've done a lot of restructuring in the last, since the beginning of this year, basically. I came in 3 years ago, and there's been a lot that needs changed, and I took over in January, and the president, Tammy here, has been helping a lot with getting fundraising going, and we're basically here to request if we can possibly set up a fundraiser for Fill the Boot for the 4 intersections for July 5th. The 4 corner, where like the firemen usually stand. Kind of doing the same idea, so.
4 corners in the north of the library.
Yes, I believe, so we had a fundraising committee, and sadly our leader had to step back. She had some family issues. So I'm kind of stepping in, and we're doing a fundraiser about each month, and they had already marked out all these fundraisers, so I'm just trying to fill back in and with the information I had. So we had put down as by the library and down by the Heidi, the 4 corner, the 4-way stop basically. So whichever we're allowed to do, or if we're allowed to do both, or whatever we need, or whatever steps we need to take to be able to do this fundraising, that would be helpful for us.
So, Chief, feel free to jump in. We do have some concern with them being a holiday weekend and fate.
Almost any other weekend, unless maybe it was Rye Bride, I don't see any issue, but this weekend with ABIC coming into town, I think that intersection averages 10,000 motorists a day. Now you're upping it with a motorcycle, and it gets to be a lot. It gets bottled up a little bit in there, but just that many groups of motorcycles, that does worry me with people standing out there. And if you're trying to go across to another motorist, and that intersection worries me during this weekend, or that weekend that you're asking. Honestly, any other weekend, I'm all, I think
Gotcha. Like I said, I kind of just filling in, and I didn't make any of the decisions on which weekend.
I don't see a huge issue at the library intersection.
Okay.
That one, it doesn't, but the 4 corners over this weekend, that, I will say that worries me.
If nobody minded, the library would still be a good idea for that weekend, just because we already have it on all of our schedules. If that doesn't work out, that's okay. We could always redo it for a different weekend. I'm just kind of stepping in and filling with what we already had printed and kind of sent out to everyone. So I'm okay with moving it, but also if the library worked for that weekend, just because we have it already printed on all the schedules, I'm very flexible and open with working with what's able to be done.
So the main concern is 4 corners and how they debate, so do from 8 to 10 then that Friday morning.
Whatever we have printed on the schedules, what we would hold and just do just by the library would be.
I think there's more local traffic there too, so maybe those people would be more willing to.
Maybe kind of paying attention,
Because they know
sticking
who we
around
are,
instead of
yeah.
just going through town, that would be,
Move to approve the library location.
Second.
A motion from Don, second from Jessica to approve the Cassuth County Tales of Hope for the 4th of July weekend at the 4-way stop near the library. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley.
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 13, this is the discussion for the May 21st rainstorm sewer backups and flooding. We had a very productive work session with concerns that were expressed, and Jacob gave some facts also about what the city is currently doing and what plans are for the future. Is there anything more, Jacob, that you would like to present?
I think, not this time. Like I said, this is kind of our initial list of, what we've had internally, the homeowners we've heard from, had conversations on kind of the impacts of, what we, kind of look at in the interim and long term, with I being would be a never-ending battle, but we can try to, prioritize probably in the short term, additional pumps, looking at having an alarm system set up or another way just to have more information so we can get ahead of these in the future. And then, we'll be doing smoke testing this year to develop a project for next year. So kind of based on what we, we already had a discussion on one, look at probably an area we need to add to investigate, of trying to find all the, if there's stormwater that shouldn't be going in where that is, and so that can get removed. And then I think kind of the big thing would be long term is, further investigating and ordering the removal of illegal footing drain connections, which would be a bigger, longer term way to address the problem. Talking about just in a work session with some, obviously the financial impact if you have a finished basement or of that. So in the past, the city has, I think it was the early 2000s, we did do a low interest loan program to assist with property damage. So that could be something that the council wanted to have us look at rolling out. We could, take our existing housing rehab program, and see if we do have parameters in there for things like code enforcement or on the business side, we do have an emergency RLF. But if council wants to, we could look at, having something there for when council declares, or in this instance of, providing a source of financing, with that, discussion on interest rate, be if we follow, kind of the income guidelines on that or increase them to a certain level. But that's, one thing we could look at doing. I know the city, I think it was 2001, I found is when we had done a program like that.
Might be worth looking into then and see how we can adapt that to today's.
I think that'd be a good option for people who don't have to, unfortunately, refinance their houses where they're at 3% interest rate into a 7.5% interest rate, so that'd be a great option.
So Jackie Hoover, I'm on 205 South Main. We have lived in Algona for 12 years, and within the last 6 years, we have been flooded out twice. So while you talk about a loan, we are now replacing our items twice at this point. And for 8 hours straight, we watched them pump sewage water out. And we had 4 pumps going. So there's one outside, one inside, and then back in 2018 when this happened, we worked with the city, we put a grinder pump in. And that still wasn't the solution as much as that's pushed onto people. We still also had sewage water, again, for the second time in 6 years. So while we own a home on this part here, South Main Street, your real estate, and if we were to put for sale sign, there's 2 out there already. Are those homes gonna sell? Are you gonna advocate for a house to be, you should go buy this house, it gets flooded with sewage water. I highly doubt you're gonna recommend somebody to go buy those homes. So our property value at this point is 0. So we live in a town, pay our taxes, do everything we're supposed to do, and the value of our homes are 0 because of the city, not because of something we have done. Just like Kelly said, we pay, we put in the grinder pump, we did all the precautions, and we're still dealing with sewer water a second time in 6 years. What are we supposed to do as homeowners? We have kids in our home. They're living in the basement. They're doing those things. What do you want us to do? How many more pumps? I've lived in Quad Cities, Des Moines, Indianola, Muscatine, and here, this is the only place we've ever lived, and there's sewage water. Feces, sewage water. Why? And all we're gonna say is we're just gonna add another pump. what happened in 2015 when you fixed that? And I understand whatever, but it's made it terribly worse. So we're gonna redo our basement twice now? We still don't wanna put anything down there because you still haven't fixed the problem. So now what are we supposed to do? We're still supposed to pay our taxes as you damage our homes? How is your house going, selling wise right now?
Yeah, it's there.
What do you want to keep telling us? We're working on it? This isn't a once in 100-year century rainfall. It's twice in 6 years. I don't want to hear it's only going to happen once in a century. Sorry, we're twice now. Does anyone plan on helping us? Not a loan, right? We paid our taxes. We've done those things. I don't want to take a loan from the city that has already taken our money and hasn't fixed the problem. It's on you guys to fix it. I shouldn't have to pay more. They shouldn't have to pay more. You take our money and we have to pay even more to get it fixed again. Why? Can anyone answer that?
Were you here during the work session when?
For part of it, yes.
Okay.
And while I hear it and I understand, go hurry up and put a pump there, we still have 4 pumps in our house. Homes should not have 4 pumps in their house to get rid of sewage water. And a grinder pump? How many more pumps do we need? Does that not tell you that there's more than a problem if we have 4 pumps in our basement?
Well, just so you know, we're as frustrated with the whole situation as you are. And I think Barb did a good job during the work session to explain that. Barb, you want to just talk about that again with that corner down of South Main and McGregor? We've got some engineers looking at that for a possible solution soon.
But what about the repairs? So that's at our expense, right? So we had to repair it the first time, and we're having to repair it a second time at our expense. We've already paid our taxes. We've already paying our everything that's there. You want us to pay to repair it again, and you want us to stay in the town of Algona. I'm pretty sure some of you were at the Teat Center, right? And it was community involvement. How do we get people to come here? What are you going to say about Algona? I've only been here for 12 years, and while it's a great community, I don't think I would tell somebody to go buy a house, let alone on South Main Street or in certain areas. So your job is based on selling homes. Well, you have how many homes that are really at a no value? So the person that owns it right now is kind of screwed, and realtors are screwed because they're not going to want to sell homes knowing that they get flooded with sewage water. That's their reputation to be like, oh, he sold me that home. He knows. I'm not from around here. So when I come here from the cities trying to raise our family, I'm relying on somebody like Brad or somebody else that's going to say, hey, this is going to be a great family home. Not this is going to be a great home, and in 2 years, guess what? You're flooded with sewer water. And then in 5 more years, you're going to do it again. Is that what we want to tell people? Come move to Algona? You're going to get sewage water. That's what I'm going to tell somebody right now.
Although I can't answer your financial issue, we are working with engineers to solve the sewer backup issue so it does not happen in the future.
But what about repairing my basement?
That's
That's
why
why
I said I can't answer the
Right.
financial issue. All we can do is move forward to solve the current issue that is happening.
well, what we told was put a grinder pump in, and that was going to be the solution. I can tell you firsthand, that's not the solution. So before you recommend it to somebody else, we still have sewage water in our basement. So just as a recommendation, before you tell somebody else to go dig up your concrete, to dig up your tiled whatever, it doesn't work. We still have sewage water in our basement. So before somebody spends another $1 investing and breaking up concrete and putting a sewer grinder pump system in, right now, we still have sewage water. So we went through all of that at our expense. The city put a little bit of money to it. It didn't work. So that's not the solution, just so you know. And is somebody going to come back with a financial, not a loan, right? We've paid our taxes, we've done our due diligence. The city has insurance, right? At what point is the city going to step up and actually help the people that have problems, not say, hey, we'll give you money and then we're going to take money and interest on the back end? We've already paid it. It's your fault, not ours. Why are we paying for it a third or a fourth time? At some point, somebody needs to understand all of those homes have a zero value. And so we're stuck in these homes. At what cost?
Thank you. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Or- Okay, we'll move to agenda item number,
I do.
oh, I'm sorry.
And I agree with everything, I'm Lori, by the way, citizen of South Main Street. I agree with everything my neighbors have said, but nobody's mentioned the health concerns of having all of this sewage in your basement, not only for mold and mildew, but the general health concerns of sewage. And we're going into that, cleaning it up. Unless you've actually done it, you have no idea just how nasty it is to wade through toilet paper and feces, and it's horrible. And something really needs to happen now, not down the road. The idea of not having value in our property, absolutely, totally agree with that. We, at this point, will not make any improvements to our home because we'll never see that money. It would just be sunk. So I appreciate you listening. Please help us.
Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 14. This is a resolution that pertains to the 2024 library exterior improvements.
I'm back.
Switch hats.
I'm just gonna be here in case.
Well,
We're excited about this. I know if you're like me, you've probably heard lots of comments about the exterior of the library. And the board, Chelsea's on our board. The board has taken a good look at the options. If you've been close to the building, you know that the materials of our current building are not in great condition, and so we basically had two options. We could do a real thorough tuck pointing, which is very expensive, or we could recover. And so, Jacob, go ahead.
yeah, so a few materials that Lori brought of.
Yeah, so what the board has approved this plan of adding, you can see different colorings, more of the light gray metal, and then this wood look product, and then around the bottom, a very dark brick, and also using that brick for accent areas.
So it's kind of a brick veneer that'll just go on, the existing exterior of the structure, and with that, especially on that east side, it'd be very, very expensive to do the tuck pointing, and what would that look like? So this should encapsulate that and have a nice watertight cover and new appearance. So, and then with the north side, you can kind of see on this rendering, but using that darker gray as accent colors, as well as looking at adding some windows.
I was not certain about adding windows on the north side, but all of the groups that I brought in, including the leadership group, some of the city employees, people just who were in the library, all said you really should put windows in. Our architect recommended putting windows in. He said it will make both the exterior and the interior look so much better, and will make the interior look larger. One of the questions I had for the people who thought, yes, we should have windows, I said, well, what you're going to see is a parking lot with cars. They said, we don't care. That's what we see on the south side, but just having that window makes such a big difference to the room itself.
Will they be doing anything with, like the support wall that's in the front, or that just gonna stay looking concrete?
Well, we talked about different options. On the south side of the building, we will do landscaping where that rocky area is. And so a lot of the plants will cover up the concrete on that side. We're also putting in railings. We've discovered that especially in the winter, the slope of the new sidewalk that is on the west side is kind of steep for people that have mobility issues. And so we're going to add railings with lights on the bottom to at least get down the slope.
I just wondered, because you put this behind that concrete barrier wall at the lower level, and really what do you see?
Right,
I mean, from the road?
right. Well, and now that we've covered it up with the graphics too.
Yeah.
But from all the different angles, I think it will look really, really nice. And you'll be able to see it in between.
When were they looking to start that? I read it, but it was late summer, right?
We're hoping. We know that we're late in the season to get contractors to commit. And if not, Jacob and I have talked about this, and if the bids don't come in the way that we're hoping, we may just have the option then to say we'll wait till next year.
We do right now, for the timeline, it will be, so tonight, approve the notice to bidders, issued the notice to bidders this week. Have bid opening on July 9th, so it'll be out for a little more than 4 weeks. Consider construction contract at July 15th meeting, and then we'll begin construction, later this summer. So, bids are high there come July. We can reject them all and then look to bid it over the winter. Right now, the final completion date that they have on it is May 30th, 25. Kind of talked a little bit not wanting the project to drag on, but also wanting to give enough time that hopefully the contractor knocks out most of it, or all the kind of the public facing sides, or the where the areas where the doors are, if those can all get done, this summer and fall, and they're finishing up, kind of the east side or that north side on some warmer winter days or come next spring. But with the construction, we'll kind of make sure when we take it on by area to limit the impact kind of from the public's access and operational standpoint. So that was kind of the theory behind what we're looking at for a timeline. But the funding for this project would all come out of the library's existing capital account that they have the funds for, and it was budgeted for in the FY25 budget for the exterior building improvements, as well as kind of just the general site improvements, so that north green space, and then doing landscaping and signage in that currently gravel area on the southwest corner of the building. So the library board met last Thursday. Wednesday, excuse me, and voted to approve moving forward with the project.
Seems like they built it over even went better than us, so I think a motion to approve the resolution to the awarding bid.
Second.
A motion from Rodney, second from Don. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Arden?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I sit
Yep.
down, summer reading starting today.
All right.
I brought you schedules, so if anybody's interested in learning something new, having some fun this summer, please take a look. We had a magician today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're missing out on that. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, agenda item number 15, these are pay apps, approval for pay apps for the splash pad project.
It is labeled 7, but it's technically 6 and 7, so just want to make that clear for our own record-keeping purposes. Part of this payout was for a payout that had been submitted to the engineer, and not yet processed, but This pay application is for $176,573. This is for the work completed and equipment installed in April and May. So about half the equipment that's in the shelter house, the manifold and the pipes, that's all in. We still have some filters and everything to go in. But all of the underground piping for the splash pad's been installed. The recirculating tank's been installed. The concrete for the splash pad's been poured. And so I believe if this week the CRS team will be back on site, and they expect that to be about 2 to 3 weeks, doing all the final install in the shelter house, and then setting all the features for the splash pad itself. And then hopefully by the end of this week, weather pending, pretty much all the concrete work should be done, except for the very south section of the property, which will still be used for accessing in and out. We're still wait to do the sidewalk on that until everything's done, so not any major equipment drag across it. So we are on track for hit our substantial completion date of July 1st. And then we kind of have opening plans of when that will officially be ready to go once we get that word, so we can get it, have kind of ceremony and get it up and operating. But then in August, doing a more formal chamber coffee and ribbon cutting and donor event. But hopefully we'll have that up and running here sometime in July.
So has the issue with grass maintenance been resolved with the engineer, I guess? Who's ever managing this?
We continue to have conversations with the general contractor. I'm emphasizing that point. It's been kind of frustrating. Ultimately they're responsible for getting that seeded and then maintaining it until the project's turned back over to the city. I'll tell you guys multiple times, we've had that conversation with them about getting that taken care of. So they are, I think they did get a vote here on Friday, I want to say. But we'll continue to emphasize that point, and then we are looking at some different options in terms of kind of around the bowl there of the skate park, just to try to get some fabric staples down or something to help with erosion control on some of that until we get grass established.
Well, and the city does a good job on our parks with trimming also, and trimming, and they mowed it, but minimally. Trimming was not done. So, I mean, from the street, it still looks crappy right along the edges. I don't know, if it's in the agreement, I guess I don't understand why it's such a hard issue to resolve.
I agree. It shouldn't be this hard. For just me, there's some items, okay, if it's a big dollar item or something, it's like, well, do we hold payment or something until, hey, this is resolved, or something like grass, it seems like a ridiculous thing to hold payment on,
But it is, but it's also the image of the city is right out public.
oh, yeah, no,
And
it's,
that's, people say, why should I worry about mowing my grass? Look at that. And it all reflects back to the city, even if it's not.
Yeah, they don't realize
responsible.
it. They think cities probably should be more.
That's right.
They think it's us. Thank you for getting on that, and we're keeping on. So,
Now, back to the issue, I guess. I'd move to approve the payment.
second.
A motion from Marley, second from Rodney to approve these pay apps. Any other discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Jessica?
Yes.
Don?
yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 16 is to approve fireworks sales permit for Wild Lily's Fireworks.
This and the next three are for fireworks sales permit applications. So this one was for Wild Lily's Fireworks, which will be in the parking lot of Bomb Growers. City Code Chapter 808 regulates sale of fireworks in the city, and so the sales permits for this and the other one will be effective from the issue date, which will be tomorrow. through July 8th.
And these three have been here a while, we've never really had any issue that way, they've always been pretty good following.
Just here and there things
Okay.
that they've been good about adhering to. So the location on this one is different than years past with scooters. So we did review with our fire chief, building inspections, and then our police chief, just in terms of the layout, so kind of, was there a map in that application? So it will require traffic to kind of come around here to the north to get to AK's and Pizza Ranch. Baumgart's owns this entire area. But it might not be a bad thing, and ultimately might be better, because then there would be kind of more of a controlled route in terms of, rather than the free-for-all that it currently is. So, but, you know, just in looking in terms of, okay, emergency access or a fire lane and things like that, and that being that close, you know, none of those two officials had concerns, because we did have, you know, last year and this year have discussions with them, and they're looking at moving those to make sure it was placed in a location that would be problematic.
Move to approve the permit.
Second.
We have a motion from Don, second from Brad, to approve the Wild Willie's fireworks. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 17 is to approve fireworks sales permit for Iowa Fireworks Company.
This would be for the fireworks sales tent set up at the Chrome truck stop.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Don, second from Jessica, to approve this fireworks permit from for the Iowa Fireworks Company. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 18 is to approve fireworks sales permit for Bellino Fireworks.
This would be the sales tent set up in the Hy-Vee parking lot.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Don, second from Brad, to approve this fireworks permit. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 19 is to set the date and the time for the city fireworks.
I did speak with our fire chief, Mitch Ulrich. We were looking at doing on the 4th. He's got the vendor lined up for then, and then we talked with Scott Schultz with the fair board, because there's races that night, that Thursday, and they were fine with it, and we didn't want to be in a situation where we're waiting until after the races are done. So the recommendation would be to hold them on the 4th, that Thursday.
So there'll be races, but then they'll pause the races and we'll have the fireworks and then they'll go back for races if need be.
I'm not sure if they'll pause the races or not. We were just told that
Oh,
they were fine with us
Oh.
having them, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See the issue.
I think it has been an issue in the past though, because they had to wait till the races got done and then people were waiting and waiting.
Yeah, it was
Like
10 or
he-
10:30.
But he said we don't have to wait.
That's when, yeah, Mitch was stopped talking to them.
Like, it's a different guy now, so,
Okay.
like in years past, that they've had to wait, but,
Well, and that was our concern, that, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they really
midnight, you
go
can
on.
always watch.
Yeah.
I almost think they'd be holding the races though,
Yeah,
because that would be like a driver safety thing.
right,
Yeah.
right.
They did one.
I would think they would pause the races
Back to
just
it.
so the fans and
Right.
drivers could watch and
Yeah.
fireworks and then starting again.
So we make sure we'll coordinate that communication on time and
Okay.
things like that.
Isn't the demo derby everyone's time too, or is that, am I missing the time frames?
That's
The
fair.
background for the demo derby.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Fireworks are in the fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Jessica, second from Kathy to set the date and time for the fireworks on the 4th of July and have them on the 4th of July. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Jessica?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 20, this is the second notification of Algona Housing Commission member Ben Stone has resigned, and this is a mayoral appointment. And again, this is just the second notification of that. Agenda item number 21, this again is the second notification. We have 3 Library Board of Trustees. Terms expire the end of this month in June. Those are Martin Dreyer, Todd Buchanan, and Mike Nearson. Again, that's a mayoral appointment, and again, this is just the second notification. So it is 6:07.
Can I say something?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Barbara.
I just want to talk about how hard our wastewater treatment plant guys worked. They are one guy short through all of that storm. Lee Simpson with the street department was called out in the middle of the night, went down and worked with them. They worked their rear ends off. They were working 24 hours a day in shifts out there through this last storm. And I also want to let you know we have hired a replacement. His name is Kyle Travis. He already has his grade 1 wastewater treatment, and he starts the end of June.
Good, thank you. Yes, and thank you, Mark, for you and your group there for all your hard work too. I know it's,
I just want you to know, we did everything we could on it.
Yeah.
And we started way ahead of time.
Yeah.
It was just, the storms kept coming. And those pumps are ready to go when anything like this happens. They're fueled up and they're ready to go.
yeah, and we certainly understand the frustration of the citizens, and it's just one of those things. So I know what we're doing as a city, and we've expressed that and shown that tonight with Jacob's presentation and Barb's discussion and explanations too, doing everything that we possibly can if this comes again. So appreciate, before we adjourn too, just want to say that we appreciate everybody coming this afternoon to express their frustration and their concerns. So with that, it's 6:08, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn today's city council meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.